Yo, hey guys, Pop, Jacques Slade here. Back with another unboxing. It's kind of an unboxing. It's more of, I think it's gonna be a series. I think I'm just gonna call it like Fresh Kicks or Dope Kicks or something like that. Basically, what this is going to be an unboxing of a couple of pair of shoes that have showed up that I think were really dope. Either I bought them or a brand sent them or a store sent them, but I thought they were really dope and I just didn't have the time to get them in the video all by themselves, but I did think they were dope enough to show you guys. The pairs that I'm gonna show you today have already released, so it's not like these are coming out in the future. It's just really dope pairs of shoes that I think you guys should see and that I think you guys should check out. So without further ado, let's hop on it. So first up, a little something from Pharrell Williams and the good folks over at Adidas Originals. Now, for those of you that are familiar with Pharrell, you know that he has a deal with Adidas and he has been doing a signature shoe with them called the HuNMD, and that's exactly what these are, as you can see from the logo there. They always come in this little sort of beige colored box and they have the Adidas and Pharrell logo there on the edge of the box, but I really love what they've done with the HuNMD. And this pair is actually called the Extra I. Now again, these have actually already released, but I wanted to show you guys just because I think they're really dope. And they're taking a slightly different approach with the HuNMD that I really appreciate. Now these are actually samples. They're actually called Look-See samples, as in the word look-see samples. And basically what that is when a brand makes a shoe, they create what they call look-see samples. It's kind of like the final production model. So if, for instance, this was, let's say, an Xbox Series X, this is like the final version hardware before it goes into production for everyone else to see. And that's where you get tags like this that have that information. If you see here, it actually says look-see, which is the word for sample, and it tells you all like the factory settings for the shoe, where it's from, the materials that are used, all the codes, the season, the color, the size, the date. All that information is categorized here on this tag, as you see here. And then on the back here is where they put comments and remarks. So if a designer ordered a look-see sample and wasn't actually happy with how the shoe came out, he would leave comments and remarks here. Or if there was something special about this one, they would leave the comments and remarks here. This one is blank in this situation, but just as an FYI, if you ever get a look-see sample, if there's a certain shoe that you want the look-see sample, that it should have this tag or a version of this tag. And every brand has this. Nike, Adidas, New Balance, no matter who it is, they have this sort of tag. Now, this is called the Extra I. If you're familiar with Pharrell, you know he's into that whole mind, body, and soul sort of philosophy when it comes to the things that he designs and how he works on music. And so these are called Extra I. One of these says extra and one of these says I. I don't know which says which. For those of you that are in the comment section, if you know which says which, let me know. This isn't the actually only colorway of the Extra I. There's another colorway of the shoe that actually sold out already. These are available on the Confirmed app if you want to get yourself a pair of these. And the official color is bold orange. As you see here, they have the bold orange on the fly knit upper, and then they have the painted midsole. They don't have the color of the blue here, aqua, maybe it's aqua. So it's bold orange and bold aqua. So bold aqua here on the boost, and this is painted boost. For some reason, they don't actually color the boost balls. I think it messes up the chemical reaction when they heat it together, and that's why they don't actually paint them a different color and they leave them that same color. And then of course you can see at the bottom, you can see through where you can actually see that the boost is still white. Now these have prime knit all over the uppers. There's a couple of different levels of prime knit. So here it's a little thicker, and then it's an elastic band that goes around here, and then again it gets thicker again here where they do the embroidery on top. You see they have two sets of laces. They have this gray pair which matches the embroidery, and then they have this pink pair which actually matches the outsole of the shoe, if you want to throw the pink laces in there to kind of match with the outsole. It also matches the cage here, which gives you all the different tying options. I've personally never switched up the lacing situation with these. I always wear them the same way that they come out of the box and just either tighten or loosen them a little bit. And honestly, if you've worn the HuNMD before, really don't even have to lace these. They're almost like a slip-on, and the laces are really just there for decoration, to be honest, because this is just prime knit here. So there's a little bit of padding, but you're not gonna tighten these up. Like, the way that they stick on your foot is based on the shoes in general. Now, if you were familiar with the HuNMD for the last couple of years, you probably know that they were doing a lot of trail versions of this shoe, which had the really thick outsole, and it made these a lot heavier. Obviously, for this one, they're going back to the original HuNMD, which has the thinner outsole, and you can see here that it's really, I mean, it's literally about that thick as opposed to like the fatter outsoles that they had with the other pairs. I'm personally a fan of the HuNMDs. I probably have between, I would say, like 7 and 10 pairs of them, and I really love them. They're mad comfortable, especially if something you just want to kick around and wear and run some errands in. Like, these are perfect, and they look dope as well. So just want to give you an option of these. I believe they're $160. Don't quote me on that, but this pair is available in the confirmed app. So if you do want a pair, make sure you check it out there. Now, moving on to the second pair, which is something I'm super excited about. So these actually released back in September, and it's a collab between Bodega and New Balance. For those that don't know about Bodega, they're a store that opened back in the early 2000s. I'm gonna say 2007, maybe 2006, one of those years. And basically it's this cool concept kind of store where the outside of the store looks like an actual bodega in New York. When you go inside, it looks like a bodega as well, but then you have to go through like a secret door to actually get to the sneaker store that is Bodega. It's kind of like one of those things, if you know, you know, because you could literally walk into Bodega and just see the bodega and think, oh, this is just like a small grocery store, and walk out and never know that there was a sneaker store back behind a hidden door that's like behind a Snapple machine or something like that, like a fake Snapple machine where you have to open it up and go inside. It's pretty dope. I love it. So they've been collaborating with New Balance for a while now, and they've done 3 different versions of the 997S, which is a version of the 997 Sport, which is a modernized version of the 997 running shoe. So Bodega introduced the 997S a few years ago, and this is the last version of that. So they've done 3 different versions of it, and so this is their last collab with New Balance, and it's called Better Days, and it looks absolutely fantastic. One thing I love about New Balance is the quality of the materials that they use, and Bodega is one of those companies that definitely leans in to the quality materials when it comes to the collabs that they do, and make sure that you're getting top-notch materials when it comes to the stuff. So this came with a postcard. These came directly from the folks over at Bodega, so thank you for sending these over. Definitely appreciate it. So this is called Better Days Ahead. They have a store in LA and they have a store here in Boston. I'll read this real quick. This coming September, Bodega will be releasing its 3rd and final 997S New Balance, which is already told you guys, the Bodega Better Days. The release continues to celebrate the innovative design of the 997S that Bodega popularized when it introduced it back in 2018. This is your sneak peek. Thank you for being a part of the journey. We appreciate your support. Much love, Team Bodega. Again, shout out to the Bodega, the folks over at Bodega. Appreciate you including me in the seeding round for these. And here we go. These, I mean, even just from the first look, you can see that these are very well done and very nice. Like, they do not slip on the quality when it comes to these. So come with a couple of extra pair of laces. There's a green pair and there's a purple and gold pair, which looks very nice. And I'll set those down in the box, but let's get to the shoes. So this is the 997S, which is a little different than the 997 Sport, and you can really see that mostly here in the tongue and the heel and the shape here. So the 997 Sport has a slightly sleeker line, whereas this one, the S, is elevated a little bit more and is a little bit more pronounced in the tongue and the heel area. But outside of that, they're generally the same shoe. Now the theme of the shoe is better days, of having a better day, and you see a little bit of that through the design. So in the front, in the gray, they have this suede, and this is representative of the original 997, which is gray. If you're familiar with New Balance, you know a lot of their shoes come in gray. Then you have this mesh paneling, and then it actually opens up on the medial side where you see this nappy suede, and it feels really, really nice. Very nice material there. So you get that nappy suede there. Then when you move over to the lateral side, you see that they have a bit of nappy suede here at the bottom of the laces, and then they have just regular suede here on the side panel where you see the New Balance logo there. The shoe is supposed to represent like sunset to sundown, sunrise to sunset. And so you see that through the yellow here for the sunrise, and then the sky gets purple in the evening, and that's where you see the sunset there. Then you also see a bit of color change on the neoprene area. So this is like a molded neoprene on one side. Basically on one side, the lateral side of it is molded neoprene, and that's a red, and that also represents the sunset and like the color of the sun. The heel here is actually looks brown, but it's supposed to be like a burgundy, a dark burgundy. And then you obviously have the pops of purple there on the back that match with the pops of purple there. Now on the cushioning side of things, New Balance and Bodega actually went a little bit out of their way, and they have Absorb and they have In-Cap inside of these. So In-Cap Reveal is a technology that New Balance started way back in the 80s. And basically you have the soft EV on the inside, and then you have the harder PU on the outside. And what the PU does is it gives that soft EVA some stability so you don't move all over the place. So it's almost like the PU is like a carrier for the EV. And then the same thing with Absorb. It's another one of their technologies that they use in their performance shoes, and it's all about compression, and it's a different form of rubber that New Balance actually came up with DuPont, which is the chemical company. And what that does is, again, adds that sort of firmness that you need in a shoe that's ready for performance. As far as branding goes, you see that they have the Bodega going up the tape stripe right in the middle. So if you look right there, you see this right in the middle. You see it says Bodega going up right there in the middle, which I think is a very nice touch. It's subtle, it's not over branding, it's just kind of there. You have to really pay attention to see it, which I think is really nice. And then you obviously have the New Balance logo there on the tongue. There's also some branding on the inside as well, on the liner. They have the Bodega there on the insole. Right on the inside, you have Bodega there. And then you also have the character that they have. I believe his name is Joe in there, so you have the character in there as well. Outsole, it's like almost, I would say a gum outsole, but that's not really, I think, the thing that's catching people's attention. It's all these colors that Bodega and New Balance used here on the upper, which I think look really, really nice. Now, unfortunately, this model is sold out, so you're not able to grab a pair of these at the moment, unfortunately. But I do think they look nice, and if you are in the resale world or you're willing to pay resale for a sneaker, I think this is something you should probably step outside of your comfort zone if you haven't worn a pair of New Balance, or if you don't have a Bodega collab yet. This is probably a good one to start that off and to kind of get you going. It feels like outdoorsy. It kind of has this very outdoorsy, almost trail sort of vibe to it, but you can also see the sort of lifestyle slant to it as well, which is something that I really like. I like that they're mixing up the worlds of trail and running and lifestyle and putting them together in a complete package. So big shout out to the folks over at Bodega for putting this together. I really, really love this model, and I'm really excited that they sent it to me. I don't have any of their Better Day or their 997 collabs yet, so this is my first pair. So I'm excited to really get these and put these on and put some wear in them and put them on my feet, because you know, you wear your shoes because that's what they're made for. Anyway, with that being said, just quick recap. New Balance Better Days collab with Bodega. And then we have the Extra Eye Look-See sample from Pharrell and the good folks over at Adidas Originals. As always, I'm Jacques Slade. Make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe if this is something that you really like. Honestly, you don't have to. I just want you to like the content. With that being said, I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.